Welcome to our Zero Waste 101 workshop. I share my screen so you can see the presentation that I prepared. Very happy to have you all here, and I hope I can give you some zero waste inspiration today. Shortly again, I'm mentioning this was planned as a Zero Waste Summit originally, but we had some organizational issues with our speakers, and so we decided to postpone it to autumn, so really each and every speaker can be part of it. We have speakers from the Ministry of Environment. We have V. Bugani on board. Maybe some of you know her. She is in charge of the Sustainable Food Movement Greece, and many other interesting people working in the field of sustainability and zero waste. But today we will focus on the Zero Waste 101 workshop, which is a basic course to zero waste. And since we're a small group, I would love to involve all of you a bit into this workshop and make it a bit of an interactive session. One thing before I start, I already said this session is going to be recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded in case you speak or you ask a question, just leave me a note in the chat and I will delete this part. All right, so once more, welcome everyone. And shortly, our program for today. So what you will need for the Zero Waste 101 workshop is a smartphone with a QR scanner. If you don't have one, just raise your hand and let me know. I'll send you the links as well. And download a Zoom account you already managed. And quickly to the agenda for today. So first of all, we will define what is zero waste. Then we will dive deeper into the zero waste funnel, and there we will define the 5 principles of zero waste. If we keep being such a small group, I would like to play a little game with you to even encourage you more to use zero waste terms. And then at the end of our session, you will receive some key takeaways, and there will be a Q&A where you can ask questions and challenge me a bit as well. Okay, before we start, before I say anything about zero waste, I would like to ask you what zero waste means to you. So therefore, I would like to ask you to scan this QR code with your phone and write down the first 3 words that come to your mind when you think about zero waste. It doesn't matter what it is, just write it down, even if it's apple, just write it down and let us know what you connect with the term zero waste. If someone does not have a smartphone, I can also send the link that is below here. All right, let's see if the first answers are coming. Let's refresh the page. I see there are already some words coming. I see recycling, clean, environmental, very hard to attain, upcycle, a lot of jars. That's funny. Circular systems, no trash, simple. Someone else is joining us. All right, no packaging groceries. Anyone who wants to contribute via microphone or via chat? Okay, the stage is all mine until now. All right, emptiness is also interesting. Externality in cost efficiency, I guess. Sustainability, resourceful. One sentence just caught my attention, and it is very hard to attain. And this is a thing that many people think, that zero waste is almost impossible. It's hard to access. It's very complicated. It costs a lot of money. And this is where I want to clean up a bit and remove those myths from people's minds. Because, in fact, it's not that hard to attain. And today I want to show you how easy it is to go zero waste. And I see there's still people writing zero carbon waste. Okay. Difficult, efficient, organic. No dumping, reusability, upcycle, smart. Smart, I like that as well. It's pretty smart, I think. Keep everything in use and yeah, go away from linear systems to more circular ways. All right, to not use any value in the production chain, for example. Okay, so I think we have quite a good overview of what zero waste is already, but of course, I will give you my Miss Smarty Pants definition of what zero waste is. In very easy words, for me, the best definition or the easiest definition to explain what zero waste is to send nothing to the landfill. Sending nothing to the landfill. This is hard to imagine in today's world where we throw away so much, but it's possible. Beyond that, zero waste also means pursuing a lifestyle that is neither harmful for the environment nor for yourself. There are pioneers in this field like Bea Johnson, who really helped us understand how we can achieve a zero waste lifestyle in our business and private lives. And I can really recommend a book from her that is called Zero Waste Home. You can buy it everywhere online. And it's really the perfect practical guideline if you want to start a zero waste lifestyle. But now enough definition. Let's enter the zero waste funnel. The principles of zero waste are divided into 5 R's. Oh, I should not have shown you this already, because I have a question for you before we get to the next slide. So the 5 R's, I would like you to guess the 5 R's and write them in the chat. I'm sure the first 2, 3, 4 R's come easily, but there is mostly 1 R that is a bit tricky. You can also unmute yourself. We're a small group today, so just shout out whatever comes to your mind. I see someone wrote reuse, recycle. Yes, we have 2 already. Reduce, recycle, reuse, recovery. Upcycle is also part of one of the principles. reusability, recycle, reuse, repurpose, redesign. Very nice. Reuse. Okay, I still miss, of course, all of those R's are part of zero waste, but today we are looking for 5 specific R's, and 2 of them I haven't seen yet. The first one and the last one. And the first one we should do the most often. What could that be? That's the second one, reduce. Okay, I will tell you the first one. It's refusing. So this we should do the most often. Refuse single-use plastic. Refuse plastic packaging in general. Refuse plastic bags. Refuse anything that we don't need. And the last one also starts with R and has only 3 letters, and mostly that's the hardest one to guess, and I haven't seen it yet. Yes, Katharina, you have 100 points. Right, exactly. All right, I think now we're ready to enter our zero waste funnel. So we have the 5 principles: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. Let's start with the first one. So refuse what you don't need. Sounds quite simple, right? But why should we do that? And how can we put it into practice? So why should we refuse? First of all, it's preventing waste. Second, when you're refusing what you don't need, you understand all of a sudden what you really need. You recognize your daily consumption, so you are aware of what you really consume, and you see your own impact of saying no, which can be quite surprising sometimes. So now I would like you to take a pen and paper or your phone or anywhere you can write down something. And I would like you to write down your own refuse mantra. So what do I mean with refuse mantra? For example, a refuse mantra should be something that you have ready and at the top of your mind when it comes to refusing something. And for example, when someone offers you a plastic bag, and then you can say, no, thank you, I'm not using plastic. You can choose any kind of sentence that will help you to refuse in your daily life. So I would ask you to write this sentence down on your phone or on a piece of paper. And the brave ones, please go ahead and share with us if you like. It can be just a simple sentence like, thank you, I'm trying to be more sustainable. Okay, I see a raised hand.
Hello.
Hello.
I stopped using plastic straws, and
Yeah.
I use metallic ones to drink coffee or beverages.
Yes. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And so what would you say when someone offers you a plastic straw?
I said, sorry, I have my own straws. They're metallic. I don't use plastic ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think if every one of us has a sentence ready already in their mind, because it's often a hurdle or an obstacle to overcome, to say no to something, because you don't want to offend someone, or you don't want to spread a negative vibe somehow. So it's good if you have a sentence ready where you're confident about, and you still feel good if you say it, and you make sure that it is not a sentence that judges another person, or it's just your own new habit that you developed. And when you have this sentence ready, I think you're all good for every situation where you can refuse something. Someone else who wants to share their refuse mantra. Thank you very much, Katharina. Oops. All right, then let's move on. One thing that I would like you to pay attention to is that in the beginning you will see mostly it's hard to start refusing something because it's a habit that we learned, and it's a habit that we learned to just take things as they come, and we don't refuse single-use plastic. So we need to unlearn it. And in the beginning, this can be a bit hard. But I'm sure once you get used to it, you will be able to do it again and again, and even inspire other people to refuse. I see someone, Katharina sent a message. Yeah, she needs to leave, but she asked for the record, and we will record the session. So whoever signed up via Eventbrite or LinkedIn will receive the recording of the session, and you can watch it whenever you feel like. Thank you very much for attending. All right. So that was it. Refuse. We have our refuse mantra, and we're all set for refusing single-use plastics. Next one. Reducing. That's the second principle. Reduce to the essentials. Why should we do that? First of all, it simplifies our lives. If you have only 5 items in your bathroom and you're really aware of your items that you have, it's much simpler for you to know, for example, actually what you actually use. And also, if something gets empty, you will be more aware than if you have 20 shampoo bottles in your cupboard. Another way of reducing is decluttering your space. So, for example, if you declutter your kitchen, you could ask yourself, what do you really use? And are there items that you, for example, only keep because you keep it because everyone has such an item, or because you keep it out of guilt because you don't want to give it away? So really ask yourself some questions that can be a bit uncomfortable in the beginning, and find out what you really need and reduce to the essentials. This whole habit of reducing will at the same time help you to downsize your consumption habits in general, because you will start thinking about your consumption and what you really need. We also have an assignment here, and I see there is a link that shouldn't be here because I once did this workshop for a company based in New York. Anyhow, I would like to ask you to stand up right now and take one thing that you want to give away or that you want to donate to someone who can use it better. So you're free to leave your desk, just grab an item that you think you don't need anymore and someone else could need it better. if someone wants to show this item, even better, just you can turn on the camera and show us which item you would like to give away or donate or maybe recycle or yeah, just give it to a person that you like. See, there's still people entering the room. Hello, Irene. Anyone who wants to show an item that they would like to donate? Yes, I hear someone unmuting. All right. Okay. Then one thing I would like you to pay attention to is to be honest about what you really need. Be honest to yourself, first of all. And maybe you can practice this by, for example, you could stick a post-it on some items where you think you still need them and write down a deadline. If you haven't used it until this and that date, you will donate it. For example, if you haven't used your garlic press for half a year, maybe it's time to overthink this garlic press. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe someone else can need it better. And then you can advertise this on platforms like Pandora or Facebook Marketplace, where you can give it to someone that really needs it. All right. Any question for the reducing principle? Then we'll move on to the next slide. So our third principle is called reuse. Reuse what you have. And why should we do that? First of all, by talking about this principle, we are reusing the previous principles that can help us to find a reuse for items we don't need anymore. For example, when we declutter and we find a lot of empty jars that we don't need, we can reuse them for something else. When we talk about reusing, it's also about repurposing items and upcycling items. And I remember someone wrote in the chat already that upcycling is also part of zero waste, and that's of course true. Is there someone among you that ever upcycled something? Or what does upcycling actually mean? It can have different meanings, but in general, I would say upcycling is giving an item without identity. This is what we would call waste, because if an item does not have an identity anymore, it's not used, and therefore it's waste. But if we give this item without identity a new identity, we can upcycle it. For example, if we find an old door on the trash and we are inspired by this workshop, hopefully, we could use this old door to make a table out of it. And then this unused door that no one wanted anymore has a new identity, and it turned into a door. And that's what upcycling is about, and reusing. And also, therefore, we reevaluate items. Okay, I see someone writes jars because I have a lot of them. What could you do with jars? Glass jars, you mean? I use an empty bottle of wine as a base for flowers. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a perfect example for giving an item that has no use anymore a new use, and upcycling items. All right. So as on every slide, I will ask you to find 3 alternatives to items that you possess that you could replace with reusable options. And again, I would ask you to write those items down. So if you think of 3 items that you use every day, for example, a razor, a coffee cup, a plastic bag, how could you find a reusable alternative for those items? Or do you have a challenge finding a reusable item for one of those items that you use daily that are not reusable yet? Write this down for yourself or in the chat if you feel like sharing. Plastic toothbrush to bamboo toothbrush. Very nice. The bamboo toothbrush is also not reusable yet, but we can compost the bamboo, and in many cases the bristles are still made from nylon, which is not the best, but there are a lot of people working on this. Makeup removal discs, that is a great example where we can save a lot of single-use makeup removers. And you can easily wash those makeup removal discs in the washing machine. And also in the long run, it's cheaper to use them than to always buy the single-use items. And reusable razor. Yes, I think this is a topic that maybe not many of us have thought about, because or you might ask your grandparents if they're still alive. There was once a razor without any plastic items and without non-recyclable materials, and you can still buy those razors, especially now in zero waste stores, but also maybe in some old-fashioned stores. And those razors have only one razor blade made from metal, and this is fully recyclable. And you don't have to use any plastic parts. And me personally, I prefer them much better than I like them much better than the other razors. For me, they work much better. All right. Yeah, again, pay attention. So try to rethink items for other purposes and find some alternatives. Let's go to the next slide. The 4th principle is recycling. So if we have refused, if we have reduced, and if we have reused, the only thing that should remain is recyclable materials and organic waste. And what is the purpose of this practice? It's mainly recognizing recyclable materials. So what materials are you already recycling? Or are you recycling no materials yet. That's also fine. It's nothing that anyone should be judged for, because we're all here to learn. And maybe you can again share in the chat what you're already recycling. And maybe again, there are a lot of challenges that maybe not even start from you, but challenges from your municipality. Maybe there are no options for you to recycle. Maybe it's not made easy for you to recycle. Often there are some obstacles in our way to move towards zero waste. This is what I'm doing my job for, to remove those obstacles. All right. And here, the assignment is, I would like to ask you to choose one of the two tasks. You could even either influence one company positively with asking them to offer recyclable options. And at the end of our workshop, you will get a template where you can send an email to a company that you would like to inspire to change their packaging so you can recycle it. Or the second assignment would be, you can investigate your trash and sort out your waste and really recognize recyclable items. Therefore, get more aware of what materials you could actually recycle. So what materials can you recycle? You can recycle glass, paper, metal, and you can even recycle plastic. Not all of the plastics are recyclable, and not all of the plastic items that we use are, not all of them can go back into a cycle, but you can recognize those plastic items that have a triangle on the packaging and the number inside. It will show like a number from 1 to 7, and therefore you can recognize how often you can recycle those items. And then one thing I would like you to pay attention to is ask yourself if it is the last option to recycle the material, or could you actually reuse it for another purpose or upcycle it? Okay, someone writes, I would like to recycle, but I find it hard to do it here. Yes, this is often the fact that there is no global recycling infrastructure, and is made very hard for people to understand recycling systems, first of all, and also often there are no recycling options. So this is something, yeah, that where there's still a lot of work to do, and the best would be a universal recycling system, so everyone is aligned on that topic. All right. I will take a sip of water. Cheers. Okay, and last but not least, my favorite topic, rotting. So what remains after refusing, reducing, reusing, and recycling is rotting your organic waste. And this is where it all comes together. Purpose of rotting and composting is to understand a life cycle of a product. So once you start composting, you will see how organic waste turns back into soil or soil amendment. And this process facilitates understanding the whole life cycle of a product that you're consuming, because then you get more conscious about the earth that you're producing, where again you can plant a seed, and this seed grows to a little plant and eventually has a crop that gets harvested, goes into a shop, you cook something or you eat it, and what remains you throw again into your compost and it gets soil again. And now you might ask yourself, she's talking about composting, but I'm living in a one-room apartment in the city of Athens, and how should I compost? How should I do that? It's pretty easy. There is a method called bokashi composting, and this is an old Japanese way of fermenting food waste. It's not smelly. It's a bucket that you can have in your kitchen, and it works like this. You put your organic trash into the bucket and put some bokashi bran on top of it. Bokashi bran is a fermented kind of matter mixed with lactobacillus that helps facilitating the process of fermenting food waste. And this way, everyone can compost at his or her home. And once the bucket is full, there are several options what you can do, but the best thing would be to involve in your local composting community. And almost in every city of the world, there is a composting community. And this is again where the cycle closes and where you can even involve into a community where you can plant your own crops and follow the whole life cycle of the products that you consume daily. Is there someone who is already composting? Vasileus says maybe it's about making it even more convenient in some way. Yeah, I think so too. Recycling should be made more convenient, definitely. How could we do that? What would be more convenient when it comes to recycling?
Can I put some thoughts on this matter?
Yes, please.
Nowadays, everything is about convenience. I mean, if we look at our lifestyle, pretty much convenience is everywhere. And maybe this should be the key. I mean, for most of us, the most easy thing of all is to throw everything in the trash. I'm not saying that us are doing it. Maybe we are a bit more conscious and doing some recycling, reusing and stuff. But still, the majority of people that can have either a negative or positive impact do it in the most convenient way possible. That's why I'm wondering whether if it could become even more convenient in some way, then probably the results will be way bigger.
That's true. And I think many people could be motivated if the government or the municipality would give incentives. For example, if you would get a certain amount for recycling glass or metal, this could motivate people. Or if you're feeling like part of a community because you are starting to recycle and it's the communal aspect that would give you the motivation to do so. That would be another option. But convenience is definitely a big topic. And when you think of a family with 3 kids and they just don't have time to think about that topic, then it's important that you are supported by your municipality and that they make it easy for you to recycle. But I think this would exceed our time limit today to start a big discussion about that. But this topic we will have definitely on our agenda in autumn, when we will have the Zero Waste Summit Athens in collaboration with Ethical Paths, and then also in Greek. My apologies that I'm not speaking Greek. Milao λίγο ελληνικά. I lived for a bit in Athens. And then, yeah, we will for sure discuss about this topic in more detail with some experts, and we'll be happy to have you on board again. And eventually we have some more detailed answers then. Okay, any more comments on composting or any questions? Go to the next slide. Yes, so I have a little game, but this takes about 15 minutes and it's very interactive. I will give you some words that are connected to zero waste, and each of you would need to draw something. Usually I do this with a team that knows each other already, because yeah, now we're just random people come together. And I would say you can raise your hand in case you want to play the game, and I'd be happy to play the game with you. But if you want to finish a bit earlier, so in about like 5 to 10 minutes, I can also move on, and you can get some more materials that will help you to live a zero waste life, and then we have the Q&A and we finish for today. So anyone who wants to play the zero waste game, please raise your hand. Yorgos, Katarina, I think, yeah. If it's the majority, we will do it. Let's see. Katarina, Vasilios, are you okay? 3 people. Then it's 4 with me. Then we'll do it, because in total we're 7. All right. Then I will send you a link in the chat. Give me a moment. There is a weird video appearing now. No, it's not weird. Give me a second. It's just an advertisement that we have to wait for. Yeah. Okay. Here I'm sending you the link in the chat, and you can enter the chat room. I stopped sharing my screen now. You can enter the playroom, not the chat room. My apologies. Just click on the link and you can enter. I see one person is already here. Prem. If you need help or if something does not work, let me know. And in case you don't want to play this game, I'd be happy to send the recording afterwards. And I can also send already the link to the zero waste key takeaways. Give me a second. This is again with the QR code that I provided. Anyhow, I will send the key takeaways also in the follow-up email, so I will make sure you have it. Okay, I will send the link again. My apologies. Okay, I did not send it to everyone. So, okay, now. Now you should have it. Yes, perfect. Wave was here for a second and disappeared again. You want to join? One more person is missing, I think. Yorgos, you are ready? In the playroom? Okay. Sophia, now we're 4. Clean. Perfect, we're 5. That's nice. All right, then I'll start the game. Round 1. So basically, yeah, clean is now choosing a word that we have spoken about, and all of you can guess what this word is. So on the right side, you see, type your guess here, and then you can guess what she or he is drawing. You can move your mouse and draw us something that is related to zero waste. What could that be? A cross. I know the words, of course. So I want to fully play with you. Sophia says reduce. What could that be? Raised hand. Guys, guess. Look, on the top you already see 2 letters. So if it's not reduce, what could that be? Time is running. Who gets these points? And it's over. The word was refuse. No one got this one, but let's see for the next one. So now Sophia is choosing a word, and she will draw us something related to zero waste. Oh, now in blue color. That's very nice. What could that be? And this time, clean, whoever it is, guess the word right. Pants as well. You both get points. I think I know it already as well. So the clock is ticking. 2 more seconds. And what was it? Recycle. So we have some points here. Now Hulk. curious what kind of word he or she is going to choose. If you have problems with starting to draw, you can go to the lower bar and then choose a color and then just draw something on the empty screen. If you cannot find it, you can also unmute yourself and I can help. Or if you're just thinking and think now, how annoying that she's speaking all the time, then my apologies. So we see one letter appearing already. I'll draw something for us. Tomato. Oh, let's see. Potato. It was donate. It's a hard word. Oh, you have been kicked. Oh, guys, I hope you can still hear me. It says the connection was lost and I got kicked out of the playroom. I will try to enter again. I hope you're still playing. I'm sure you can do it without me.
Manas, you are audible.
I didn't hear you.
That's my prem.
Yes, hello. I could not hear you.
No, ma'am.
The acoustic is a bit hard for me to understand. You all got kicked out of the room?
No, ma'am. We are still in the room.
Okay, good. Then it's only me. I'm sure you can do it. And I'm curious who will be the winner. Usually we can play 3 rounds, but I think 1 round is enough for today. And once everyone was drawing one time, I would like to ask you to close the window again and come back to our workshop and also, of course, announce the winner. I think it will be clean, what I've seen so far. So I'm curious. I'm not able to re-enter the playroom. I don't know why I got kicked out. Keep me updated. Are you through 1 round already?
Yes, ma'am. Round 1 is already completed.
What did you say?
Round 1 is completed. We just moved to round 2.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, then I would ask you to come back to the presentation. Eventually, you can even play this game in the office or wherever you like. I think it's a fun game and also puts, thinking about zero waste into practice. And that was the main reason why I showed this to you. And mostly, it's funny how people also draw the different words that I chose. And thank you for being so open to just being part of this little game. I see I have a slow connection. Okay, no worries. I think we'll just go on with the presentation. That was really fun. Thank you, Sophia. All right. Yeah, this is what we're trying to do at We Go Zero. We want to make it fun and easy for people to go zero waste. And all right, then let's go into the final phase of the presentation. So we played our little game, and now it's already time for you to download your knowledge base. So again, you can take your phone and scan this QR code, and you will be directed to a folder where you can access some information about zero waste. For example, a swap list or a little pharmacy, what you could use instead of using plastic medicine, plastic packaged medicine, and so on. There are some tips, and also this template that I was speaking about that you can use for giving it, or that you can use for inspiring companies to use recyclable packaging. If everyone scanned the QR code, I think we're ready for our one thing that you might ask yourself, why do you see a cake and a tea, is because once I was so out of mind and at thinking about sugar and coffee already, that I said tea takeaways. And in order to remind me to not do that again, I put tea and a cake there. But of course, it's not tea takeaways, it's key takeaways. Very funny. All right. So then let's go to the next slide. And yeah, I hope that I could give you some more insights to Zero Waste Life and bring some more consciousness and awareness to your day-to-day habits. Also, I hope I could give you some knowledge on how to live zero waste and how to put that into practice in a fun and easy way. And access to zero waste products, we are working on it. So as We Go Zero, we're a zero waste consultancy based in Amsterdam, and this year we expand to 5 cities in Europe. And one of the cities that we started at is Athens, because there this whole idea of having a zero waste consultancy developed in my mind. And that's why we started with a Zero Waste Map Greece, where you can see where you can shop zero waste products, secondhand fashion, food and beverages, what organizations there are, what hotels are sustainable or offer zero waste options, and where you can buy secondhand furniture, where there are repair points, and even restaurants and cafes where they offer zero waste options. And also we have bulk buying options. Most of the things that we have on the map now are in Athens, but we will have a lot more points in Thessaloniki soon. And yeah, that's it. And also to help people to engage with the map, we started with zero waste bike tours. And those bike tours you can find here on Airbnb Experiences. So you can go on a bike tour with us and explore, for example, all the secondhand shopping options in Athens. I can send both of the links into the chat, and you can look at it if you want. That is the Airbnb experiences, and I can also share map with you. This is not officially launched yet, and we will have it ready by autumn when we have the Zero Waste Summit. So we will do our very best to improve the map together with ethical paths and some volunteers that will help us. And yeah, eventually can be helpful already for you. Okay, that's it from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and challenge me, ask me anything you like. And I hope I can answer in a convenient way. And otherwise, I wish you a lovely afternoon, evening.
Can I ask something?
Yes, please.
I'm not sure whether it was in the very beginning of the presentation, but I didn't get your background, what you get involved with. Maybe it was more in the description of the event, maybe not, but I didn't read it, so.
You got me. I missed that part. So I'm the founder of We Go Zero. It's a zero waste consultancy based in Amsterdam, as I already said. My background is actually in real estate. I'm a property developer and trustee, but I always had a very strong focus on sustainability. And 3 years ago, when I decided to be self-employed, this whole project started to develop from an apartment that my family bought in Greece, and we turned it into a zero waste apartment for short-term rent. And this somehow developed to what it is today. And when I incorporated in Amsterdam, I knew that the first step when we start expanding will be to Athens in Greece, and that's why we started there. And I'm very happy to collaborate now with a Greek organization who does basically the same as we do, and together we're even stronger. Already I mentioned it's ethical paths. And yeah, together we're working on the Zero Waste Map Greece and also on the Zero Waste bike tours. And if you want to know my academic background, I studied real estate management and have various licenses, as I already mentioned, as a property developer and so on. And I still involve in real estate and sustainability. I'm a board member for FIBRE, which is the Foundation for International Blockchain and Real Estate Expertise. And this is where I make the connection between blockchain, real estate, and sustainability.
Thank you.
Any more questions? You can also write in the chat. Otherwise, I'd be happy to send you some links in follow up, and also the recording of the session today. And yeah, I'm very happy that you joined, and I hope it was a bit inspiring for you and you know more about zero waste than before. And I wish you all a lovely afternoon and evening, and hope to see you soon at one of our next events. You can follow us on social media. I think most of you already do, on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. Thank you very much for joining